There is a profound principle in human physiology that becomes increasingly important as we move past 60: the body's need for controlled, purposeful strength. Many of us assume that simply staying active through walking or light stretching is sufficient to preserve our independence and mobility. But the reality is far more complex. The human body is not a passive structure. It is an intricately balanced system of muscles, joints, and connective tissues, all guided by the nervous system. Each part relies on the others to function safely and efficiently. And as we age, the consequences of weakness in any one system become magnified. Muscles are not merely for movement, they are the stabilizers of our entire skeletal structure. The quiet guardians that prevent undue stress on our joints, and the engines that enable us to rise, bend, reach, and navigate the world confidently. After 60, muscles naturally lose some of their mass and strength, a process known as sarcopenia. It happens slowly, often imperceptibly, and many people do not notice until daily activities begin to feel more difficult. Rising from a chair may require extra effort, climbing stairs may become taxing, and the sense of balance may feel less secure. These changes are not a reflection of willpower or dedication. They are the result of biological processes that slow down with age. The body, in its wisdom, conserves resources when muscles are underutilized, without a deliberate signal that strength is necessary. The systems responsible for maintaining muscle size, joint stability, and coordination begin to scale back their activity, leaving the joints and bones more vulnerable to stress. Controlled strength exercises, particularly those that can be performed with the support of a chair, provide exactly the type of signal the body needs. By intentionally engaging the muscles of the hips, thighs, and core, seniors can activate fibers that are essential for stabilizing the largest and most critical joints in the body. These movements create tension in the muscle fibers, which in turn stimulates biochemical processes that rebuild and reinforce the tissue. Protein synthesis increases, circulation to the muscle improves, and connective tissues like tendons and ligaments become more resilient. This is the body's natural mechanism for responding to functional demand. When it perceives that strength is needed, it adapts accordingly. What makes chair-based strength exercises particularly effective is their ability to generate significant muscular activation while maintaining safety. Many older adults may struggle with traditional standing exercises due to joint pain, fatigue, or balance concerns. The chair acts as a stabilizing tool, allowing controlled engagement of muscles without overloading the joints. Movements such as seated leg lifts, sit-to-stand repetitions, or gentle torso twists recruit multiple muscle groups simultaneously, sending a robust signal to the body that strength must be maintained. Unlike walking, which primarily engages repetitive low resistance motion, these exercises challenge the muscles in new ways that directly support joint integrity and postural stability. Beyond the physical benefits, there is a psychological element to controlled strength. Each repetition performed with focus reinforces a sense of capability, signaling to the brain that the body is still capable of controlled, powerful movement. Confidence grows alongside physical strength, creating a feedback loop that encourages more movement, better posture, and increased willingness to engage in daily activities. This combination of physiological and psychological reinforcement is essential for maintaining independence as the years progress, showing that the body responds not just to activity, but to purposeful, deliberate action. In this way, the first step toward preserving mobility and independence after 60 is not simply to move more, but to move intentionally with resistance and control. Controlled strength exercises, even when performed from the safety of a chair, provide the body with the signals it needs to rebuild, stabilize, and thrive, protecting joints, enhancing balance, and maintaining the resilience necessary for daily life. As we age, the health of our joints becomes a central factor in maintaining mobility and independence. After 60, the muscles surrounding the major joints, the hips, knees, and spine, play a far more crucial role than many realize. Joints themselves are marvels of biological engineering designed to allow smooth, efficient movement. Yet they are not self-sufficient. The cartilage, ligaments, and synovial fluid within a joint provide structure and cushioning. But without the support of strong, active muscles, joints are forced to bear more stress than they were designed to handle. Over time, this added stress can contribute to discomfort, inflammation, and even degenerative changes. Strengthening exercises, particularly those performed in a controlled and deliberate manner from a chair, provide a way to engage these critical muscles safely and effectively, directly protecting the joints that sustain our mobility. The benefit of these exercises lies not only in building muscle strength, but also in guiding joint movement in safe and supported patterns. When performing movements such as seated leg lifts, controlled knee extensions, or chair-assisted squats, the muscles contract in a way that stabilizes the joints. The hip muscles control the alignment of the femur, preventing inward collapse that can strain the knees. Quadriceps and hamstrings coordinate to control knee flexion and extension, reducing pressure on the joint surfaces. Even subtle movements engage the muscles around the spine and core, supporting the vertebrae and helping distribute load evenly. Each repetition of these movements provides both mechanical support and biological feedback, stimulating the joints and surrounding tissues to maintain resilience. Another important aspect of joint health is the circulation of synovial fluid. The natural lubricant within the joints. Controlled movement encourages fluid exchange, nourishing cartilage, and promoting the removal of metabolic waste products. Unlike walking, which primarily moves the legs in a repetitive, linear pattern, chair-based exercises can involve multiple planes of motion and targeted engagement of specific muscles, optimizing joint lubrication and supporting structural integrity. Over time, these movements can help maintain range of motion while simultaneously enhancing the stability required to perform daily tasks safely. Strengthening exercises also protect the joints by reinforcing neuromuscular coordination. Every joint relies on the brain to activate the right muscles at the right moment, a process that becomes less precise with age if not practiced. By performing slow, deliberate, and controlled exercises, seniors train their nervous system to anticipate shifts in load, maintain alignment, and correct posture automatically. This preparation reduces the likelihood of sudden strains or imbalances that can lead to injury. It is not enough to simply have flexible joints. They must be supported by muscles that can respond intelligently to the demands of movement. Moreover, the psychological impact of strengthening exercises should not be underestimated. When older adults feel confident that their joints are supported by strong muscles, they are more likely to engage in activity, maintaining mobility and independence. This confidence encourages regular practice, creating a positive feedback loop that continuously reinforces both joint health and muscular function. Chair exercises designed to target major muscle groups while providing stability and control embody this principle. They show that joint protection is not just about passive care or gentle stretching. It is about activating the body's natural systems in a way that strengthens, stabilizes, and preserves function, allowing movement to remain safe, controlled, and reliable well into later years. There is an intricate relationship between muscles and the nervous system that becomes increasingly important as we move beyond 60. Many people assume that movement is purely mechanical, that muscles contract, joints bend, and the body moves, but in reality, every action is the product of a complex dialogue between the brain, spinal cord, and muscle fibers. This conversation is critical for balance, coordination, and precise control, and it is something that walking alone rarely challenges sufficiently. Chair-based exercises performed deliberately and with focus provide a unique opportunity to engage this system, allowing seniors to maintain and even refine the communication pathways that govern movement. As we age, the nervous system begins to respond more slowly to sensory input, and muscles may take longer to react. This is not a sign of failure, but rather a natural adjustment in biological efficiency. Each contraction and each movement requires coordination, timing, and feedback. When the body performs simple repetitive actions like walking, it primarily engages the same set of signals over and over, reinforcing familiar patterns. While this maintains some function, it does little to challenge the nervous system to coordinate multiple joints, recruit different muscle groups simultaneously, or react to sudden changes in posture. Chair exercises, in contrast, can incorporate variations in movement, controlled lifting, rotation, and resistance that stimulate a richer dialogue between muscles and nerves. When performing a seated leg extension, for example, the quadriceps must contract in precise timing while the hamstrings provide stability. The hip and core muscles engage to maintain posture, while the nervous system monitors balance, tension, and alignment throughout the motion. Each repetition sends feedback to the brain, reinforcing the pattern and teaching the muscles to respond more efficiently. This repeated communication strengthens neural pathways, improving both coordination and reaction time. Over weeks and months, the nervous system becomes better equipped to manage more complex movements, allowing the body to respond more quickly to unexpected shifts in balance or environmental changes. Chair exercises also support proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space. This sense is critical for preventing falls and maintaining independence. When performing controlled seated movements, the brain receives constant feedback from the muscles and joints about position, tension, and movement. This feedback loop allows the nervous system to fine-tune motor control, adjusting muscle recruitment and joint alignment as needed. The repetition and variation inherent in well-designed chair exercises help maintain this sense of body awareness, reinforcing the brain's ability to guide movement safely. Moreover, there is a connection between muscular activity and cognitive function. Active muscles release biochemical signals that travel to the brain, supporting neuron growth, synaptic maintenance, and communication between neural networks. In this way, strengthening exercises contribute not only to physical coordination, but also to mental clarity and processing speed. The brain learns through action, and the muscles act as both teachers and partners in this learning process. Ultimately, the value of chair-based exercises lies not just in the strengthening of muscles, but in the way they refine the brain's control over the body. By engaging multiple muscle groups, maintaining posture, and challenging movement patterns, these exercises enhance neuromuscular coordination, proprioception, and reaction speed. They create a body that moves with greater confidence, balance, and control, allowing seniors to perform everyday tasks safely and independently, and to maintain a deeper connection between mind and movement that is essential for longevity and quality of life. Balance is a delicate and dynamic process, one that relies on the constant interaction between muscles, joints, and the nervous system. Many people assume balance is simply a matter of standing upright or maintaining a steady gait, yet it is far more complex than that. Every movement we make, from shifting weight in a chair to stepping onto an even ground, requires the body to continuously monitor position, tension, and force. After 60, these systems can become less responsive if they are not intentionally trained. Walking alone, while beneficial for cardiovascular health and endurance, does not challenge the body's balance mechanisms in the way that targeted chair exercises can. Controlled, deliberate movements provide a unique opportunity to engage and refine the systems responsible for stability, helping seniors maintain confidence and independence in their daily lives. Muscles play a central role in balance, particularly those surrounding the hips, core, and legs. When these muscles are strong and responsive, they act as stabilizers for the joints, absorbing forces and preventing unwanted shifts in alignment. As we age, these muscles can lose strength, leaving joints more vulnerable to strain and increasing the risk of falls. Chair-based exercises such as seated leg lifts, seated marches, or gentle torso twists allow these stabilizing muscles to contract safely and effectively. Each repetition trains the muscles to respond to subtle shifts in posture, reinforcing the body's ability to maintain equilibrium during more complex movements. The nervous system is equally critical in maintaining balance. Proprioceptors, tiny sensory receptors located in muscles and joints, continuously send information to the brain about the position and movement of the body. This information allows the brain to adjust muscle activation patterns, ensuring smooth and coordinated motion. As we age, the speed and accuracy of these signals can diminish, making falls and instability more likely. Chair exercises challenge the nervous system by requiring precise control of multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Slow, controlled movements stimulate these proprioceptive pathways, improving the brain's ability to anticipate and correct shifts in posture before they result in a loss of balance. In addition to muscle strength and neural coordination, joint health contributes significantly to balance. Healthy joints provide a stable foundation for movement. Chair exercises encourage controlled engagement of the knees, hips, and spine while minimizing stress on these joints. Unlike walking, which predominantly involves repetitive, linear motion, chair exercises can be performed in multiple planes, targeting the joints in ways that enhance both mobility and stability. This multidirectional approach reinforces alignment and strengthens the connective tissues that support the joints, creating a safer, more reliable base for daily activity. Another benefit of chair-based balance training is the confidence it fosters. Many seniors hesitate to perform traditional standing exercises or challenging movements due to fear of falling. Using a chair for support allows individuals to practice controlled motion safely, gradually building strength, coordination, and self-assurance. This psychological reinforcement is as important as the physical improvements, as confidence encourages regular activity, further strengthening the systems that maintain balance. Ultimately, balance is not a fixed trait, but a skill that can be maintained and improved through intentional practice. Chair-based exercises provide a practical, safe, and highly effective way to engage the muscles, joints, and nervous system in a coordinated effort. By training these systems together, seniors can maintain stability, improve reaction times, and move through their environment with confidence, resilience, and independence, ensuring that everyday life remains both safe and fully accessible. There is a remarkable principle in human movement that becomes especially meaningful after 60, the cumulative power of consistent, deliberate practice. Many older adults assume that dramatic workouts or hours of physical activity are necessary to maintain strength and independence. But the body responds differently than we often expect. It is not the magnitude of a single effort that drives long-term adaptation, but the repetition of small, purposeful movements over time. Chair-based exercises exemplify this principle. They may appear simple or modest, yet when performed consistently, they create profound effects on muscles, joints, and the nervous system, reinforcing stability, strength, and coordination in ways that walking alone cannot achieve. Every repetition of a chair exercise carries a message to the body. The muscles, joints, and connective tissues are still needed. Muscle fibers respond to tension by activating growth and repair processes, increasing their strength and resilience. Tendons and ligaments, which attach muscles to bone and stabilize joints, also adapt to repeated loading, becoming more robust and better able to absorb stress. Even the nervous system benefits, refining the timing and coordination of movements, improving reaction speed, and strengthening the pathways that control balance. Over weeks and months, these small, consistent signals accumulate, producing measurable changes in strength, stability, and functional capacity. Chair exercises are particularly effective because they engage multiple muscle groups in a safe and controlled manner. Movements like sit-to-stand repetitions, seated leg extensions, or seated marches activate the thighs, hips, and core simultaneously, providing joint support while also stimulating cardiovascular activity. Unlike walking, which primarily involves repetitive linear motion, these exercises challenge the muscles and nervous system in new ways, requiring coordination, timing, and controlled contraction. The variety and control inherent in these movements ensure that the body is not simply moving, but actively adapting and strengthening itself. Consistency is the key to these adaptations. The body responds most effectively to repeated signals that occur over time. Even modest effort performed daily can maintain and rebuild muscle mass, improve balance, and reinforce neuromuscular connections. This principle highlights the accessibility of chair-based exercises. One does not need to engage in heavy lifting or high-impact training to produce meaningful results. 10 to 15 intentional repetitions of a sit-to-stand exercise, performed with attention to form and controlled speed, are enough to activate the systems responsible for functional strength and balance. Another profound benefit of consistent practice is the psychological reinforcement it provides. Performing exercises regularly builds confidence in the body's abilities, reducing fear of movement and encouraging engagement in daily activities. This self-assurance is particularly important for seniors, as fear of falling or injury can lead to inactivity, which in turn accelerates muscle loss, joint stiffness, and loss of coordination. Chair exercises provide a safe environment to practice movement, reinforcing both physical capability and mental confidence. Creating a positive feedback loop that promotes continued activity and adaptation. Ultimately, the cumulative impact of small, deliberate movements illustrates a fundamental truth about aging and the human body. The capacity to adapt does not vanish with age. It simply requires intentional signals. Chair exercises offer an ideal vehicle for providing these signals. It's activating muscles, supporting joints, and refining neuromuscular control. With consistent practice, seniors can maintain strength, stability, and independence, demonstrating that even after 60, the body remains capable of meaningful growth and adaptation when guided with care and consistency. Even after 60, the human body retains a remarkable capacity for adaptation, though it requires deliberate and consistent signals to trigger change. Many seniors assume that aging inevitably leads to weakness, stiffness, and reduced independence. Yet biology tells a more hopeful story. Muscles, tendons, ligaments, and the nervous system remain responsive to training well into later decades, provided the right type of stimulus is applied. Chair-based exercises, with their combination of safety, controlled movement, and functional engagement, exemplify this approach, offering a way to rebuild strength, improve coordination, and protect joints without the risks associated with more demanding forms of exercise. One of the key factors in this adaptability is the responsiveness of muscle tissue. Even in older adults who have experienced years of reduced activity, muscle fibers retain the ability to grow stronger when challenged with resistance. Controlled contractions stimulate protein synthesis within the fibers, increase mitochondrial activity, and improve blood flow, which delivers oxygen and nutrients necessary for repair and growth. Unlike walking, which primarily involves repetitive low-resistance movement, chair exercises can provide targeted tension that challenges multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Each repetition creates a signal that the body interprets as a need for strength and stability, prompting adaptations that rebuild functional capacity over time. Tendons and connective tissues also respond to repeated controlled loading. These structures provide critical support to joints, transmitting force from muscles while maintaining alignment and resilience. When they are challenged appropriately, collagen production is stimulated, improving tissue elasticity and durability. This is particularly important after 60, when connective tissues naturally lose some of their strength and flexibility. Chair-based exercises allow seniors to engage these tissues safely, applying load in a controlled manner that encourages reinforcement without overstrain. Movements such as seated leg lifts, sit-to-stand repetitions, or torso rotations provide multidirectional stimulation that promotes joint integrity and overall musculoskeletal health. The nervous system is equally involved in adaptation. Strengthening exercises challenge the brain and spinal cord to coordinate multiple muscles, monitor joint position, and respond to shifts in weight and posture. Repetition strengthens neural pathways, enhancing coordination, reaction time, and proprioception. This integration of mind and body is essential for maintaining balance and preventing falls. When older adults perform chair exercises consistently, they reinforce both muscular strength and neuromuscular control, creating a resilient system capable of responding to everyday challenges. Another important element is consistency. The body requires repeated, intentional effort to maintain and rebuild function. Even modest, well-controlled chair exercises, performed daily or several times per week, provide enough stimulus to produce significant long-term benefits. The cumulative effect strengthens muscles, supports joints, and trains the nervous system, enhancing confidence and independence in daily activities. Unlike sporadic, intense workouts, which can risk injury, consistent practice allows gradual adaptation that is safe, sustainable, and effective. Finally, there is a profound psychological benefit to this process. Each repetition performed with focus reassures the brain that the body is capable of restoring confidence in movement. This mental reinforcement encourages continued activity, creating a positive cycle of physical and cognitive engagement. Even after 60, the body is far from fixed. With consistent, deliberate practice, chair exercises can trigger meaningful adaptation, rebuilding strength, stability, and coordination. and supporting a level of independence and vitality that many assume is no longer possible.